Topaz has been around a lot of different incarnations since high school, since the early 70s. Glitter rock, David Bowie, Alice Cooper, that kind of thing. Heavily influenced by early Zeppelin and Queen and Beatles, a lot of jazz, a lot of blues. Had a decent following at that time. People knew who we were. And it was a lot of fun doing those shows. You stepped out of character. You know, it was really hectic. We'd be in the dressing rooms. There'd be a lot of bands all at once. That was during the time we were also playing in New York and playing at CBGB's and in Lemore's. And we'd do these shows with like 10 bands. And you'd set the equipment off stage. You know, these guys are showing up in jeans and everything. And here we are with the makeup and the glitter. And, you know, show from hell, which definitely set us apart. Whether you liked us or not, you knew who we were.
Those days after school brought the sun right into my life. With you by my side, I no longer feel the pain of love tonight. I love you more than words.
It seemed, I'm saying, the climate of the time was very strange. It's if you could play, you were a jerk. You know, I saw interviews talking about bands and saying they're simplistic, raw, atonal, blah, blah, blah. They're great. And the adjectives didn't describe him saying it was great. But then you talk about something like John McLaughlin, an amazing guitarist, and one of the most influential guitarists of the time, and saying he plays with that look at me now style. Because he was good, he was getting slammed, and I just didn't understand it. We did some shows where there's like a sea of faces and hands in the air, and you know, I'll tell you, it's like being famous. We were signed with Azure Records, and we did the first cover, and being the what's a good word? Being the amorous person that I am, the first album cover had two naked girls with their breasts in my ears and wires running from their breasts to a stereo, and they were headphones. And the guy kind of freaked out and said, well, this will be a European cover because that's okay. So then we did an American cover where the girl was wrapped in wrapping paper and we really weren't showing anything. And then I get a letter from the guy saying that they're going to release it with a black cover. And I go, what is this, Spinal Tap? You know, it's a glam band. You're supposed to, you know, sell us and show the image. So we had some disagreements, and we got the lawyer to get our masters back and stuff, and we didn't go with him. I had a pat answer when smarmy people would come up and go, oh, if you're so good, how come you wear the makeup? I go, well, you know, you go to the Ice Capades, these guys are incredible skaters. If they wore jeans, you'd go home. You know, you want to see the show, you want some glitter. You know, this is, after all, show business, and, you know, you should look different than what you see on the street every day. People are on the street, they want to be entertained. So, having a theater background, I was very, very into being theatrical. The solo. It's interesting watching that solo again after so many years, because first of all, I'd forgotten the tape existed, and when I went through these tapes for you, finding it was kind of cool to watch it, you know? It was the Fastest Gun in the West days, you know? you see the primitive monophonic guitar synthesizer that I had then, and the unearthly sounds that it made. You know, it was really, nothing captures that. You know, all the new stuff that you have. Just, I mean, it had its faults, it has glitches and all this other stuff, but it was nothing like the sound of that. It just sounded like a spaceship or something. It was really cool. I have to tell you, it's a really cool feeling to stand up on stage and see all this fog coming around you and these lights coming from underneath, and then to hear that sound come up. It's very, yeah, you kind of feel like you're in another place, you know? I really enjoyed becoming that character, Ruby Topaz, like Alice Cooper. You know what I mean? Topaz is my birthstone. Ruby didn't exist. It's just another birthstone, but it sounded like a girl. The funny thing is, when my son was born, his birthstone wound up being Ruby. So there actually was a Ruby Topaz. It was a persona for me. I became somebody else when I put on the makeup and dressed in the glitter and all this other stuff, you know? But I do have to admit that I liked synthesizing the glam and had more of my personality come through. So it was more of a melding of the Ruby Topaz and my personality, kind of. You know, I like that coming through. And it lends for a broader appeal. But I had people come up to me and say, you know, you write a lot of pretty songs and you do some pretty things at the piano and you're getting pigeonholed wearing the type of makeup you wear because it's so broad and so big and so cartoony that when you sit and do the pretty things, it just doesn't fit, and you should probably look to change your style a little bit. So during that period, we went a little more glam and a little less theatrical, and with the blonde hair, and you know. So the Change of Face album, which is interesting, the Change of Face album, I wanted it to be called Change of Face because it was the first album without makeup. I wanted to have us on the cover with no makeup, with a picture of us with makeup in the back. But I figured we needed a title song. I usually have a song on the album that's the title, and I didn't have one. And we went in about 3 o'clock in the morning, before I went into the studio the next day. I got up in the morning and I wrote this song. I went, taught them the song, and what you hear on there is us doing it for the first time, and that's actually what's on the record. But when we went into the Change of Face mode and we started branching out and doing different types of song, being we weren't limited to a certain type of music because of the image, I felt musically we got better. The songs become more intricate. They were more polished. They were slicker. I was better at getting tones with my amplifiers, and I got better at recording and producing, and it was a much, much better album.
What's it gonna take to make you love me again the way I still love you? I lay at night trying to figure it out. I don't know what you've been so mad about. I wish I could just make everything right in your head, in your head. I really miss those magic moments, the ones that start just caress, that made me feel I was in heaven. Now all I have is these emptiness in my chest. I miss you so much, I wish there was a way
when I was going through my divorce and going through the custody thing for my son, I recorded Crystal Pick, the first album, the first instrumental solo album I did, where I played everything. And I've been using these Brazilian agate picks for 20 years now, and I figured it'd be a joke, you know, these crystal, New Age people into crystals, I'll call it Crystal Pick. It'd be a joke, an inside joke.
Lost all of that about my it would show.
Then I redid my rack, I redid my system, bought a guitar synthesizer, a new one, which sounded great, and redid this room, came in here during the summer with a black light on all the posters, and I did Soundtrack of Life, Crystal Pick 2, the album I wanted to do. Crystal Pick 2 was recorded total time. If you took the total time I recorded this thing in 4 days. I wrote, played, recorded, and produced half the album in a day and a half, and the other half of the album in like 3 days, 3 or 2.5 days. I had no idea where I was going to go with it. It was just totally, I was winging it. I laid down the drums, like, oh, okay, I'll lay something else down. I lay something else down. And all of a sudden, it's a song. It was like painting pictures with sound. It's completely there. I want to get back to the theatrical thing, because I'm very much a theatrical person. I want to get a really good show. I want to have some good costumes. Maybe not grease paint like Ruby Topaz in '85 and '86, but definitely something that's striking and makes an impression. You know, I'm showbiz, you know.